right, welcome back to Dr. Pamela Y. Smith as we talk about uh, all things entrepreneur, different types of business. Today we are talking about part 2 on managing properties. Not long, doesn't take that long to talk about this. Wanted to get you information on what being an entrepreneur in the real estate world, okay? And right now we were on real estate. So welcome. Thank you for your support. Make sure you continue to look in the link in the description for any information that's going to help you in your endeavors as an entrepreneur. Okay? So thank you for joining me. Part 2, managing. On my last one, I talked about various things. And one of them that I want to talk to on this one and add on to it is the application. Now, here's the thing about some people that are owning real estate, but they don't really own a few properties. That a lot of times they don't really check into that person, that they do more of looking for 2 months to 3 months of a deposit or secure deposit. A lot of people don't understand that when you request a secure deposit, you're taking a risk on a person not typically going to take care of your property, okay? Because you're really not checking them, and you're just looking for you're just looking to occupy your property. So you're taking a risk. So I'm just letting you know that when you do that, you're taking a risk. Check everyone that goes into your property. Now, some would say check the credit. Credit doesn't per se matter. What matters is, have they ever been put out another property? Have they ever been put out of another property within 2 years, the last 2 to 3 years? That is what matters, okay? Now, some will still rent and ask for, like I said, a higher deposit. Now, my thing is, if you check in the person and you want to do various deposits and want to hire extra months of deposit, just understand you're taking a risk of the person not particularly taking care of your property, because people think when they give you something that, you know, you got it, and then they feel some kind of way about the way you're treating them to move in. I'm just being honest. And so that's why you have to be a manager of the property, okay? So my advice, when you do an application, check them. I don't say the credit matters because people want a roof over their head, and they're looking for a roof over their head. The whole key is making sure they haven't left other properties, okay? That is what matters, I feel, and that's how I was successful at mine. So, but this is what I'm giving you, my opinion on how to be successful as managing. Other people do different things. This is the way mine was successful, and my turnover was 1%. That's it. Now, let's go into the next one. What are you offering to attract them? Okay? What are you offering to attract tenants to come? And you've got to have specials. You need to have discounts. You need to have low security deposits. So we were just talking about when you get into that application, you want to have low security deposit. My thing is do some specials, meaning you're giving them the first month with half rent, and you can feed that into the next 11 months. So it's a way to do it. You can get a discount, like add it in the rent, and you make sure that the lawn, you cut the grass. You have your own lawn guy come and cut your grass, because the whole key is to keep your property looking good, okay? So I don't recommend allowing my tenants to cut my lawn. I just never did. I made sure that it was in that rent that I was still paying the lawn guy, because I'm telling you, and I know a lot of you think no, some people will not take care of your property the way you will. I'm telling you, do not allow your tenants to take care of the lawn. If it's a house and if it's your apartment complex, do not allow it. You have person on your property management team, and you have someone that cuts all of your properties. I don't care if you have one. Do not allow your tenants to cut the grass, okay? Because all you're doing is cutting it. You can let them add shrubbery, flowers, or do whatever, but you are always going to send your lawn guy there to clean it up, cut the grass, keep the bushes shaped. You got me? So important, okay? The other thing, you move in, move out sheet. You must do a move in, move out sheet, no matter what. Because I promise you, tenants will swear down that the window didn't have screens when they moved in, when you go to do the move out. And you get to charge them for the missing screens. You understand? So you have to make sure that you do a move in and a move out no matter what. Ain't that I don't have time, I'm out of town. If you're not in town to do it, then you can't move the tenant in. If you need someone else to do it, then that's what you're going to have to do. Do not move any tenant in without you ever doing a walkthrough. That's the biggest mistake a lot of people make, because they're so busy to quickly try to get some money. Never do that, okay? Other thing, when you're doing a move in, move out, and there's something wrong, and you have not fixed it, do not move them in. Do you understand? The whole thing about keeping tenants from bothering you or complaining is to move them in a clean slate. And I'm saying that because I've been a renter too. And I'm telling you, when I was renting, I hated having to call the landlord about issues. Because most landlords, some of these landlords who think they have a property are lazy. And when they hand it sometime to a property management company, they're just as lazy too. They won't care enough to make sure that that property is taken care of. Don't be like that. And the best thing to do is that before somebody move in, if the toilet tissue, that whole toilet tissue paper is broken, don't go. They can't move in until you put it on there. Don't tell them you're gonna come back and do it. No, this is the date they can move in, and you'll prorate the rent. Don't let them rush you so they can hurry up and move in because they need to move in. No, we're not gonna do that. You're gonna move in this date because this is what I need to take care of, since I just saw that this wasn't taken care of. You got me? Okay. Other thing. When you give incentives, your key to giving the incentives, and the reason I was saying to do the incentive, is to stay out of court. Now, here's what I mean. What do you mean, Dr. Pamela? How do you keep yourself out of court? The incentive is in the rent, because your key is to get your rent on time. Your key is to get your rent early. And the way to do that is to give incentives to pay the rent early. And a lot of people would say to me, but that's just a big thing. So here's the thing I say do. Take $100 off of your rent if they pay by the 30th. A lot of people will say, no, that's $100. No. If you're telling somebody a bigger chunk of a rent coming off, you have to factor this in. And when you take it off for them to pay you on time, you're going to get your rent early. And guess what? If they don't pay early, you still getting your rent. You got to factor the discount into what you're doing. Okay, that's the key to managing. It's not just getting into properties. You got to learn about managing. And I'm going to start putting something together to teach a class about managing property, because a lot of people don't know how to manage property. So I'm going to work on helping a lot of people understand how to manage property. You have to put incentives. You put incentives, that's going to keep you out of court. That's going to get your rent, and that's going to get you your rent early, okay? So make sure you add incentives, okay? Next one, like I said, do not allow your tenants to cut the grass. You cut the grass and add it into the rent. Factor it into the rent. You cut the lawn of all your properties. The other thing, if you are renting these properties, and it's not commercial and it's residential, I recommend that if it's something you may be considering to sell in the future, go ahead and do a lease option on that next tenant if you're going to end up selling it. Just do a lease option with them because that gives them more incentive to really want to take care of the property even more, okay? So try to do a lease option on those. On your commercial properties, I would say don't make the leases so long. Because you don't know the business that this person is bringing. Don't try to make them 5 years and 10 years. It's not worth it. You just give people 2 years. Even with residential, try not to go past 2 years. Some people do a year because they want to raise the rent. Don't raise your rent all the time. Keep your rent lower than the next people. Stop trying to be where everybody is. Your key is to keep your properties occupied at all times. Do not try to do what everybody else is doing. I'm teaching you the game of how to keep your properties occupied and taken care of. Okay? So I hope the information that I gave you helped you understand about managing. Please look out for me. I'm going to work on doing a property management training and webinar to help you have success with properties. Okay? All right. Thank you for joining me. You've been with Dr. Pamela Smith. Thank you for sharing and liking and subscribing, and I look forward to giving you more information on being an entrepreneur. Your serial entrepreneur, Dr. Pamela. I will be back, and I will see you soon.